Hello, I'm Madison Elliott, and welcome to the very first episode of LTV News, where we bring you everything LaSalle, Philadelphia, and global news. In the show, we'll sit down with WEXP Program Director Jacob Smolinski, and later, LTV analyst Steve Graham will strike up a conversation with fellow students. But first, let's take a look at LaSalle news. LaSalle has started off on a good note for the new school year, with many exciting things happening on campus. Prevalent among these events is the groundbreaking for the new business school. Campus has been buzzing about the construction, which will take place on West Campus. Reporters Corey Meredith and Steve Graham have the full coverage. Let's take a look.
The new business school groundbreaking took place on Tuesday, September 16th. The school is expected to open in the spring of 2015. Reporter Steve Graham had the opportunity to cover the event and see what plans the school has for the future.
We celebrate another historical milestone for LaSalle University. Approximately 9 months ago, I got the approval from the Board of Trustees to create this $35 million facility that we're here today to break ground on. And at this building's foundation, there's going to be the values, the beliefs, and principles of the Christian Brothers.
To see the construction now, what does it mean to LaSalle?
Well, it's an extremely important event for LaSalle and for the surrounding neighborhood. I mean, the business school facility, while it served LaSalle very well, the one in College Hall, for many, many, many years and produced great grads, the business education's gotten so much more technologically sophisticated, and it requires such a different, teaching and learning environment. This building will provide that for the present and for the future. You couldn't overstate the importance of it. It's impossible to overstate.
I can't tell you how excited we are. You saw the number of faculty who were out today. We actually have a little celebration going on in College Hall now. We had a couple of sheet cakes made up with pictures of the building on top of the cake. I think everyone who is aware of this project is excited about it. It's going to be such a turning point for our school.
It's an affirmation of all the great things that are happening here. Indication of energy, hope for the future, commitment from trustees making a significant financial contribution to students like yourself. So I think it means a lot. It's more than a groundbreaking, it's a significant celebration, and it's an indication of where we're going to go and how optimistic we are about the future.
And as you say, where we're going to go, what do you believe this will do for the school, especially the business program?
Well, it'll clearly energize the school. And we're all human beings. You go into a new, robust facility, it elevates your intellectual and emotional energy. It'll certainly help recruiting additional talent students like you. It'll help us raise additional money, and it'll help us really position ourselves in the marketplace as the marquee institution that we are. So it gives us lots of points of leverage to take our good, solid base of energy and move forward.
Now, on to some other LaSalle news. We had the chance to sit down and chat with fellow LaSalle TV reporter Jacob Smolinski and see what he has in store for WEXP Radio this year after being appointed program director. LTV chairman Brendan Rigney has the coverage.
Hello, I'm Brendan Rigney here, and I'm sitting down with my friend and fellow colleague for LaSalle TV, Jacob Smolinski. Jacob, how are you doing today?
How are you doing, Brendan?
It's nice to have you on with us.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
The reason we have you on the show right now is because of your invested interest and now influence in WEXP, and I'm just very curious to hear what is your vision for the radio station.
All right, with WEXP, this year I got the chance last year, got on the e-board. We cleaned house. We had, for the past couple of years, WEXP has been kind of lackluster. We really haven't had a lot of, success promoting it and actually getting it to be an actual organization that has some weight on campus, because that's all you really want. You want the influence of LaSalle TV. But the thing is, with WXP, we weren't getting that reach. And so this year we completely cleaned out the e-board. We have a really, really young crew of people who all really want to see the radio station perform, really. Last year we only had a couple of shows on there. This year we've added a bunch of new shows with everything ranging from political talk shows all the way to celebrity gossip shows. So there's a really, really wide array of programming that's coming on, and on top of that, we're really taking it upon ourselves to kind of regulate the content that's going on there. And we're funding a lot of events, whether it be like trips to Hershey Park, which is a big one, sold out like in like, I don't know, if I say like 5 minutes, it's probably a bit of an exaggeration, but it was like 5 minutes. But no, so we had that going on. We're going to be trying to sponsor some more like on-campus concerts, like open mic nights in Starbucks. So I don't know, some really great things going on.
There's a lot of great ideas, actually. I'm very proud of you as a friend and a colleague. Speaking of WXP, I did tune in a few times last year to your show, which was Miserable Mondays. Can you tell me a little bit more about how that went for you last year, and if you have any bigger plans for this upcoming semester?
You know, Miserable Mondays with Ian and Jake, I think it's going to be one of those, it's a late night talk show. We go on from 10 to 11 at night. I basically kind of think of it as like the Wayne's World of WEXP, as corny as it kind of sounds, but we honestly just have a lot of fun with it. It's more like we have like a really fun like cult following. So it's like a lot of friends that we invite on the show also tune back in, and so because we decided like it's no fun if we're just gonna do a radio show. It's where it's me and Ian just sitting on there, like we're gonna just play what music we want, talk a little bit, like make fun of our friends, like it's like whatever. But what we ended up doing was we started incorporating our friends. We started building like a really nice little fan base, and so we'll have like little segments like we'll be like tweet a request at us, or you guys can call in, whatever. And we actually get a lot of people like that listen in and actively listen in. So like as the broadcast is going on and we say something, like people will be like interacting, like texting us and like even just tweeting at us, and it makes it a lot more fun. And what we basically do is we play like I guess the way we describe it is college rock and beyond. So we basically play whatever we are feeling like at the moment. Not scripted, I don't know. But the only issue is right now is that one of the highlights for us was my roommate Ian, who's also the co-host with me. He got his hair cut, and for those of you who didn't know, he had these luscious 80s Fabio locks, and so now it's gone. And I feel like a little bit of Miserable Mondays has died along with that. So.
Yeah, I saw him the other day, and I didn't recognize him at first. It's pretty disappointing.
No, seriously, like nobody's recognizing him anymore.
Yeah,
even ex-girlfriends of his don't even know who he is anymore.
Well, maybe that's for the best that the ex-girlfriends
That might be
are
for the
reminding
best,
him.
yeah.
So we're gonna circle back.
Yeah.
If it's Wayne's World, are you Wayne or Garth?
I would be Wayne.
You'd be Wayne.
Yes,
You'd be Garth.
and he'd be Garth because the thing is, he has this eagle screech that he does.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he has an eagle screech. I can't replicate it.
Oh,
I don't
you wouldn't do it justice.
I don't want to do it justice, and quite frankly, like I hear it in my dreams, and I really don't want to
like
have to.
nightmares or like dreams.
It's like when you have like those kind of like quasi both, like something nice will be happening, then all of a sudden a nightmare will come in.
Is that like the signal that something bad is going to happen?
Yes.
That's
so,
like your premonition.
So then it's like I find myself like, Jacob, wake up, but it never happens. Then I have to deal with some sort of horrible nightmare, and it's just the reality in my mind.
For Miserable Mondays, can you tell me one of the most interesting either guests or call-ins that you've had?
Well, our favorite guest that we brought on the show, and he's actually going to be our first guest of the year next week on Monday, from 10 to 11 on WEXP, Tune In Radio.
There's your shameless plug.
Yeah,
right
there's my shameless plug. But our favorite guest we've ever brought on is our hyper-conservative friend Patrick Prendergast. And he, for some reason, took it upon himself to start discussing like the socio-economic roles in the Republic of Congo. And we don't know why that happened, but it made for some sort of really,
He chose to speak about something like that on Miserable Mondays.
So we rolled with it.
That is bonkers. I appreciate it, though. Actually, Pat went to my high school.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure he doesn't know
Roman?
who I am. Yeah, maybe it's for the best that he doesn't know who I am, but we'll see. So would you say that you tend to like music? Are you a fan of music, Jake?
I'd say that I'm a little bit of an
Just a little bit.
aficionado. Yeah, I know I love it. It's honestly that's like if communications like like if that's like my where I'm going to be working, like doing like LaSalle TV, like that's the major I'm in. Music is the hobby that I like. That's just like the thing I like to do for fun, whether it be recording with friends, doing with stuff with playing shows around LaSalle, going out to Temple every once in a while with my band Local Onlys, and we just have a lot of fun with that.
The band has become legendary, actually. You see the T-shirts all the time
t-shirts
on campus.
Everywhere.
I'm pretty sure 1 out of every 5 males and 2 out of every 3 females have that T-shirt.
I don't know. It's just
But that, sadly, is all the time we have. I hope to have you on again because I thoroughly enjoyed this interview. Jake, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you.
We'll be back after this commercial.
Hungry for LaSalle TV? Check us out on YouTube. Follow us on Facebook. Check out our Twitter. And continue watching LaSalle TV.
Welcome back. I'm Corey Meredith, and I'm here to tell you what's a buzz in Philadelphia. Easily one of the most beloved and popular events in Philadelphia is Restaurant Week, a two-week affair that can introduce people to the multitude of fine dining establishments found in Center City. Reporters Madison Elliott and Steve Graham have the coverage. Let's take a look.
Hi, I'm Madison Elliott. I'm a reporter for LTV News, and I'm here today with LaSalle's edition of Man on the Street, where we will be asking LaSalle students about what they think about Restaurant Week.
We're really excited to do it. Yeah, we're definitely going to go. We're excited.
Where do you think you guys might go, like Italian food or?
Probably something Italian.
Yeah,
Italian? Definitely Italian.
It's really good.
I love Restaurant Week. I think it's a great way to get to some of the best restaurants in the city without paying as much.
And what's one of your favorite restaurants that you've been to? Do you have one?
I really like Chima. Budokan sounds awesome. I've never been there, but I
Okay.
want to go there.
What restaurant is Chima? Like, what stuff do they have?
So it's a Brazilian steakhouse, and I don't know if you know what they are, but they kind of have large pieces of meat on skewers,
Okay.
and they like slice it off for you, and you can just keep a little tab up, and they constantly just give you more and more, like all you can eat.
I think Restaurant Week's great. It's a good thing that the city does it every year. I mean, lower prices, that way you can bring up revenue. People who can't normally go out to restaurants like that, like college kids, can go out, have good food, have a good time, and be able to come back with their families and give more revenue to the city.
And now I'm going to throw it over to our reporter, Steve Graham, who got a chance to go out and experience Restaurant Week this weekend at Del Frisco's Steakhouse.
Serving at Del Frisco's during Restaurant Week is a great opportunity to get everyone in here that usually, doesn't normally dine with us. So, they get a chance and a glimpse of, getting the fine dining, experience that we always deliver, along with, the amazing deal that we're offering, along with other restaurants in the area. As far as what Restaurant Week does for Philadelphia, it lures, college students, it definitely brings a lot of people into the area and surrounding areas such as New Jersey. We get a lot of people that don't come into the city, and they come into Restaurant Week specifically because they're able to pay, a reduced rate for what we have to offer on a normal basis, as well as, our Restaurant Week initially kicked off what we like to do for lunch, which we have a special $20 lunch feature. So it's pretty amazing, as well as we have a prime pair feature on Sundays, which, people can come in and get the same type of experience as Restaurant Week.
The biggest buzz in Center City right now is the opening of Dilworth Park. After years of construction, this new park is officially open on September 4th and has already drawn a lot of people and attention. The area offers lunchtime concerts, pop-up markets, DJ dance parties, showcases of local music and art, and free movie screenings. It also will be showing entrances to the Broad Street and Market Street subway lines, including elevators for the handicap, a feature that the old plaza lacked. The park will not be completely finished until later this year, with plans of an ice skating rink and a restaurant in the works. Although the opening weekend was fully met with much anticipation and generally positive receptions of Philadelphians, it fails to satisfy all. After $55 million was spent on the construction, Philly Magazine reports displeasure among the ranks of Philly citizens. Later in the show, Steve Graham will test the temperature of the new park with some LaSalle students. But first, a commercial break, followed by Madison Elliott's coverage of the world. Stay tuned.
In LaSalle University's communication department, students learn to think and do.
Every semester, communication students create and implement public relations plans for local nonprofit organizations.
And journalism students produce Germantown Beat, an online news source for the local community.
It's great that we can apply what we learn in the classroom in our community.
Philadelphia is the nation's 4th largest media market and has 4 major sports teams.
Being in a major media market allows us to gain great professional experience through internships and co-ops.
The Communication Center is home to the university's cable station.
LaSalle TV reaches over 350,000 homes in Philadelphia and airs mostly student-produced programming.
Our communication department is ranked in the top 10 in North America for relational communication research.
But keeping with the tradition of the De La Salle Christian Brothers, teaching students comes first.
Think, do, with LaSalle Communication. Check us out on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back. Let's step back and take a look at the world. A story that has been stirring up much debate and angst is the ongoing investigation of NFL star Ray Rice. Rice was arrested for beating his wife last February. He was subsequently suspended from play for 2 games by League Commissioner Roger Goodell, until the video of the incident was leaked to the public. Since this, Rice has been suspended indefinitely and cut by the Baltimore Ravens, while Goodell and the NFL face harsh public scrutiny of their poor handling of this case. The league itself has issued its own independent investigation of the matter. Moving across the pond, news has spread of the possible succession of Scotland from the UK. Within the next few weeks, the people of Scotland will be asked to vote on whether or not the Scottish government and its land break free from the rest of the country. Eligible voters will be every citizen from the age of 16 and older. While there has always been some trace amounts of descendants between the Scots and English, recent economic turmoil may be the primary reason for this vote. Now, let's return home to the U.S. On Wednesday, September 10th, President Barack Obama addressed the nation on the ongoing situation with ISIS, that is the Islamic State of Iraq and Syria. The counterterrorism campaign consists of 2 steps. Step 1 is special force bombing on locations known to contain ISIS. The second is support Iraqi and Kurdish troops with training, intelligence, and equipment to fight the ground. ISIS has now threatened the United States and killed 2 American journalists, James Foley and Stephen Skoloff. The terrorist group has seized and controlled territory in Iraq and Syria. They are largely self-funding as they sell oil and govern using a tax system. Estimations show that ISIS makes $1 million a day, and unlike the familiar Al-Qaeda, ISIS behaves like a military force, leaving soldiers scattered in the open throughout Iraq and Syria. With recent developments, such as the execution of British hostage David Haines, the United States works with other nations to weaken and ultimately eliminate any threat to homeland security. Now let's see what Steve Graham can dust up among the LaSalle student body as he sits down with sophomores Chris Cruz and Tommy McIntyre to talk about the new Dilworth Plaza.
Thank you, Madison. I am Steve Graham, and welcome to the debate panel. Today I sit down with student panelists Thomas McIntyre and Christopher Cruz. Thank you guys for joining us today. We saw earlier in the show, Corey Meredith, our reporter, touched upon Dilworth Plaza, new in the city of Philadelphia. $55 million put into this. It was open on September 4th. Let's start. Just a little opinion on it. Have you guys seen it yet? What are your thoughts?
I've seen it. I haven't seen it personally. I've seen the images though, and it looks nice. It looks like it's going to be a good thing for the city. It definitely it's better than what they had before. Before Dilworth Park was there, it was basically just infested with kids that were on skateboarders and really the homeless of Philadelphia. So it'll be interesting to see how it turns out and how they keep it clean.
I'm looking forward to it. I think it's something to give. I think it's something that the people of Philadelphia can be proud of. I think it's a step in the right direction, and I think that that it could move on to future projects in Philadelphia, maybe building the city up more. I think this is just a start, and I'm glad to see positive change in the city.
Yeah, and we see the funding for this was very little Philadelphia tax dollars. It was private companies, private donations. But you see definitely the struggles in Philadelphia, but this is definitely prettying up the city, you can say. What are your thoughts on that? Is the $55 million, do you see it, are they capitalizing this money in the right way? Do you see this park as a good thing for the city or, unnecessary?
It's definitely a good thing for the city. I mean, it's been it's been being worked on for a while now. It's something that just started like yesterday. This has been a long process, and obviously the Philadelphia school system, the district is in a lot of trouble. I think over the last several years we've lost 5,000 jobs, 31 schools have been closed, and I think 3% of the administrative money that they're supposed to get it's 3% of $2 billion now. So it's really bad in the school system. So I understand the outrage there, but I also think that it's good for the city. And I mean, hey, watching Rocky in Center City, maybe that would be a cool thing to do. I think it'll be nice for the city.
I'm certainly glad that private investors are stepping up and willing to put their money forward. I'm glad that people are taking pride and showing care for the city instead of the government putting money in. I think it shows to the people of Philadelphia, like, hey, we care. We're willing to make a change on the positive side.
Yeah, it seems that both of you actually do like the park. On the other side, the Philadelphia Inquirer actually brought in an architectural critic, and I just wanted to put a quote. It says, she claims, her name is Inga Saffron, and she claims they've reconstructed the space in front of City Hall, furnished it with a cafe, a high-tech spray fountain, and movable chairs, and rebranded it Dilworth Park. But the vast granite prairie is still very much a plaza with all the weakness the word implies. Those are some harsh words, as you can see. It's 11,600 square feet. They have a fountain there. Definitely a lot of those millions of dollars were going towards this computer-generated fountain that changes colors. But you know, why are they calling this a park? You know, you saw it was Dilworth Plaza before construction happened, and very little people went in this area. It was dimly lit. It was scary. You know, why do you think she has these judgments?
I mean, I'm not an architect major, so I have no idea about architecture. But I mean, I've heard good reviews about it so far. It's not complete. It should be done soon. They said about November, I think, is when they're trying to probably start an ice skating rink there in the winter, and then also showing movies as well. So they're going to build some plants. They're going to have trees, grass around. They're still not complete, finished it totally. So I think you'll have to wait to see the finished project until we can really decide.
I'm thinking it's a great upgrade from what they had. I think what she's trying to convey is that people are going to remember what it was. But I think doing this dramatic upgrade and sinking all this money into it is going to make people forget and then bring more people in. The city has a lot of older landmarks. I think it's a modern landmark that people should look forward to and embrace.
And there was another argument as well, is that after the Philadelphia Phillies won the World Series, they all flocked to Love Park. That was like the meeting ground. Everybody celebrated. But what this park is looking to accomplish is be the true town square. What are your thoughts on that? Will this bring Philadelphia together? Is this a spot to gather at, or is it still Love Park or the Art Museum?
I mean, hopefully it's a place to gather at. I mean, Love Park definitely has a lot of trash, a lot of things going wrong in Love Park. There's a lot of things that have to get cleaned up there. And I think moving forward, they say they have a 20-year lease, and they're always going to have security on this, private security. So this is definitely going to be a place where it's good. They're going to try to have no crime. They're going to try to have people be able to come in, because really there's nothing to do right there in Center City before. So this is going to be a cool place for kids, families, have a restaurant, a place to eat. So I think it's going to be a good thing for the city.
I think so too. I think it definitely, like I said before, it's a step in the right direction for Philadelphia, and being a safer place, people would want to go there. Philadelphia does get a bad rap with the media and everything. You know, most of what you hear is Philadelphia is an unsafe place. Don't go down these streets. But you know, putting this bright thing in Center City, I think people are going to flock to it more. I think people are going to realize, well, hey, Philadelphia might not be as bad a place as the media portrays. Let's check this out.
Yeah, and like you said, people could flock there. They have plenty of things planned. I see there's a beer garden coming for Oktoberfest, free movies, free concerts. So going ahead, you see all these things planned. What does this do for the city going forward? Does this attract people from suburbs of New Jersey, Delaware, or are people still fearful of the city of Philadelphia?
I'm not too positive on that, but I think having an ice skating rink I think they're trying to copy New York there, having an ice skating rink maybe in the wintertime. I think that's definitely going to bring some people in. And just in park in general, being able to have hopefully a restaurant there. They have a breakfast, lunch, and dinner. They have a breakfast place already, I think. And so I think hopefully going forward, it's going to be a place where a lot of people are going to want to see and hopefully come to regularly throughout the year.
I like the comparison you made to New York. You know, I've talked to people before, and they said, well, Philadelphia, it's a cool city, it's nice to be in, but there's not really a whole lot to do, and it doesn't stand out as much as, cities like New York and other places like that. I think Philadelphia needs that. I think we need to have more people to come in. I think people should say, well, hey, let's not take a 2-hour drive to New York. Let's just take a 30-minute drive over to Philadelphia. Go out to eat, hang out, and go see some nice places and everything.
And Chris, going back to you, we see restaurants in the making. There's a cafe, and this Dilworth Park is now going to be employ people constantly in that area to make sure it's not going to be skateboarders, polluted. What does this do for the job market? We see a constant struggle for jobs in the city of Philadelphia, people in the streets looking for money. What will this do?
Well, I'm definitely thinking that it's going to increase jobs, which I'm all for 100%. Increasing jobs, absolutely. And getting people off the street, helping people out, I think it's a positive driving force for the city of Philadelphia.
And we hope so. I'm sure we are all looking forward to this ice skating rink. Us as college kids always looking for something to do in the city, so I'm sure that'll be a popular attraction. But I'd like to thank Tommy and Chris for joining us today. It was an excellent discussion. And we're going to send it back over to Madison.
Thanks, Steve. Be sure to find us on the web as well as the rest of LaSalle TV on Facebook at facebook.com/LaSalleTV. You can tweet at us at LaSalle TV Philly or email us your thoughts at lasalle@tv@lasalle.edu. If you missed the scoop and want to see it, you can find episodes on YouTube at youtube.com/LaSalle56. If you want to get to know the shows and the students who make them, jump on the web and check us out on the station's website, lasalle.edu/LaSalleTV. Until next time, for Steve, Corey, and the entire LTV News crew, I'm Madison Elliott. Never stop exploring.